When we talk about the history of trade among Igbo women, one thing becomes very clear. Women have always played a central role in the economic, social, and even political life of Igbo society. And one of the most remarkable figures in that tradition was Chief Mary Nzimiro. Her life represents the strength, the influence and leadership that Igbo trading women have carried across generations. But to really understand her story, we have to start with the larger picture. Historically, Igbo market women were not just traders. They were custodians of community relationships and local governance. Many communities had powerful female guilds and market unions that regulated trade, settled disputes, and maintained social order among women. Women were deeply involved in trade in palm oil, textiles, foodstuffs, and through these activities, they controlled significant capital and then influenced community decisions. Their political influence was also visible. A well-known example is the 1929 Aba Women's Riot, where Igbo women organized a massive protest against colonial taxation. This strong tradition of women's economic and social power created the foundation from which influential traders like Chief Mary emerged. So Chief Mary, whose maiden name was Mbojikwe, was born in 1898 in Oguta, present-day Imo State, into a family known for its trading ability. She began her commercial activities at a relatively young age. After marrying Richard Nzimiro, a businessman involved in transport and merchandising, she quickly built her own business networks and showed remarkable independence and business intelligence. By the 1940s, she had become an agent of the United African Company, one of the largest multinational trading firms operating in West Africa at the time. And her role was very significant. As an agent, she was responsible for distributing imported manufactured goods, things like textiles, cosmetics, and hardware into the interior regions of eastern Nigeria. And this was not a position commonly given to African women within colonial trading systems that were largely dominated by male merchants and export trade firms. But she did not stop there. Her business interests expanded far beyond imported goods. She diversified into textile and retail shops across eastern Nigeria, palm oil and local produce brokerage, real estate investment, and the importation of goods that were in high demand in both rural and urban markets. By the 1950s, she had become one of the wealthiest individuals in southern eastern Nigeria, male or female. She owned multiple stores and controlled a significant share of regional trade networks. Some accounts even describe her as one of the first women in Nigeria to achieve millionaire status through commerce. Her business connected villages to larger trade routes, extending all the way to the port of Lagos. And through her success, she inspired other women to enter large-scale commerce. But Mary Nzimiro's influence was not limited to business. She was also a respected political leader. She served as a member of the House of Chiefs in the Eastern region and became a prominent figure within the National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroons, NCNC, one of the earliest nationalist political parties in Nigeria. In these roles, she mobilized women for civic participation and advocated strongly for women's involvement in community development and political discussions. Her leadership strengthened women's associations and helped trading women negotiate better market rights and participate in community governance. Beyond politics and business, she was also deeply committed to community development. She funded scholarships, supported educational institutions, and helped establish community schools. One of her most lasting contributions was the Nzimiro Memorial Girls' School in Oguta, created in honor of her late husband and supported by the community. Through this, she showed a strong belief that economic success should go hand in hand with education, especially for women and girls. Today, Chief Mary is remembered as a trailblazer. Her life challenged gender expectations and showed that women's economic leadership in Igbo society was not unusual. It was part of a long-standing tradition. Her story continues to inspire conversations about women's entrepreneurship, economic empowerment, and the historic role of African women in commerce. And in many ways, her life stands as a powerful reminder that the legacy of Igbo trading women did not begin today. It has always been there.